Hey everyone, today we're going to be exploring the Taishan Overseas Cultural Museum here in Guangdong, China. Now, this is going to be a very personal museum for me because my ancestors are actually from this part of China. Taishan, Taishan, or Hoisan, depending on which dialect of Chinese you're referring to, is a very special place in my heart, and because of my ancestors, more specifically my grandparents and great-grandparents that left this place in China to come to the New World, the United States, it wouldn't have been possible for me to exist and come back here. So we're going to see what this museum is all about. I heard there's 5 floors of history here, and we will see. It's Thursday, June 19th, 2025. It's almost 12:30 p.m. Temperature's 87 Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius. My mom is also joining me today.
Hey, very exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna get to see all about the history of the overseas Chinese who left Taishan or Hoisan for the New World. And I don't really even need a museum to talk about the history because I've heard about it from my grandparents, my parents, even my great-grandparents when I got to know them when they were alive. People left at that time, or they did what they had to, because it was really a fight for survival. China back in those days wasn't the prosperous place that it is now. It was a country that was divided. There was civil war. There was invasion from other people, famine and floods. So it was kind of like people had to leave or they would perish here. They have this entire cultural square right outside the museum. Yeah, they have a mural here about patriotism and family love. Even though these people left for the New World, they still had a love for their hometown where they left from. And many of the Taishanese who were successful overseas, they even sent money back to their family back home, or they came back and created new industries, railroads, buildings, and brought with them their ideals from the New World. Now, I guess I should tell you about my family. Both my mom's side and my dad's side all came from Taishan. My great-grandfather actually left Taishan, I believe, in the late 1800s. And he didn't come to the United States at first. He came to Nanaimo, Canada, which is now present-day Vancouver Island, a small part of it. And he was like, from what he told me and what from my parents told me and grandparents, he was like a general store manager and was involved with the mining business. And I think even his father, my great-great-grandfather, was involved in the mining business too. Well, here's a mural about the Chinese resistance against the Japanese aggression, which I'll get to also. Yeah, he set up like a general store and was quite successful in Canada. And then he came to New York somehow. I don't know the details about that. And then my grandfather came to New York, I believe, in the late 1930s, and was involved in the laundry business in what is today the Lower East Side. In New York City. And shortly after that, he got drafted into the US Army for a conflict known as World War II. He fought in the US Army against the powers of Nazi Germany and its allies. And then after the war, he was able to change his paper name, because back then a lot of Taishanese had to claim they were somebody else to get into the United States because there were quotas on Chinese immigration. So because of the Chinese Amnesty Acts after World War II, he was able to clear his name and become who he really was and not someone else's son. So that's a pretty interesting thing there. And then that whole thing about the mural, about the Japanese aggression, the Japanese actually were in Taishan for quite a period of time and were in Taishan occupying it until the end of World War II when they surrendered. My grandmother told me that she hid in the rice fields to avoid the Japanese and even heard bullets going by. It was not a good time, but eventually she escaped and came to the US with my grandfather. And then my mother's parents, my grandfather on her side, he actually escaped to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong back then was under British rule. It wasn't a part of China. And he made a living there, and it wasn't easy in Hong Kong. Conditions were pretty poor, but he managed to make it work. And then eventually found his way to New York and brought the rest of her family through. So that's a quick, brief history of my family and my connection to the Taishan immigration or Hoisan immigration here. Oh wow, the museum is free to enter. Closed on Mondays, open from 9 to 17, so that's 9 to 5. Last entries at 4:30. Let's go in. What a beautiful exhibit here with this waterfall. It's kind of a really like homecoming and surreal experience being here, even though I've never been to China before. This is actually my first trip to China and my first visit to Taishan. I was even able to locate my family's roots village, and I even found out I have a history going back like 600 years to an ancestor who I don't even know. I guess there's nobody here for the security check. We just walk in. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I have a lot of stuff in my backpack, camera equipment. Wow. I had no idea there was so much culture and history preserved here in Taishan and a museum of this scale. And like I said, what makes this museum even more powerful is that it's very personal to me. Let's go into exhibition hall number 1. Oh, we can read this. So the old name of Taishan was named Sinning or Sunning. It has the title of the first hometown for the overseas Chinese. Also very nice that they have information in both Chinese and English. Even though I can claim Taishanese heritage, my Chinese reading ability is very limited. And even if I can read Chinese, I only know how to read it in Mandarin Chinese for the most part, which I studied for 2 years. The writing system, although most Chinese can read the writing system, the spoken language is different. Guanghai used to be the port for Taishan people to emigrate overseas. I can't believe this museum is free. The Guanghai walled city in 1839. I don't even know about this. Now, this is an ancient map from the Ming Dynasty of Sinning County before it became be known as Taishan. And the Qing Dynasty, the last dynasty of China. That's probably when my great-grandfather left China, during the Qing Dynasty. Modern times, well, this is 1935. And then they have the present time Taishan. 1935, this is what the area looked like when my grandfather left, and probably many of the people left too, because I think emigration was at its height back then. Going overseas to Nanyang and Gold Mountain. Yeah, that was the term for the New World, the Gold Mountain, Gimsan, because of the California gold rush. People thought they were going to make it rich, getting into the gold industry and finding gold in the mountains. But as I learned from history class in the US, the California gold rush actually made a lot of people poor, and those that really got rich were the people who sold the mining supplies and provided services for all the miners, like the pickaxes and the clothing and the lodging and all that. Yep, this is what I was saying. There was a lot of floods, famine, pests, and it was not an easy time in China. This is a very powerful mural, the Guanghai Pier, people saying goodbye because they don't even know if they're going to make it to the New World. Many of these people, they unfortunately perished along the way because it would take like half a year, even more sometimes, to travel to the New World. Whether it's to the United States, Canada, I've even seen Taishan people go to Cuba and Mexico, other places in Southeast Asia like Malaysia. Yeah, it was a very tough time. They borrowed money to survive, and then they had to pay the loans back. This is a really long document. Interrogations at Angel Island. Yeah, my grandfather, when he immigrated as a paper son to the US, actually was interrogated at Ellis Island, and they had to ask him many questions about who he was, and he had to pretend that he was someone else's son and memorize all those facts, and he was able to pass it.
How many bedrooms were in the house where you claim to have lived 17 years? Did you visit the Shanghai market with your father when he was last in China? Why not? If you really are his son.
Wow, this is a really eerie audio clip. I'm sure this interrogation struck fear into many Taishanese people. They really grilled you Do you remember the name of the market? Did you really come with somebody? How many beds are in the room? Stuff like that. Here's the map of where the Taishanese people emigrated to. Look at this, a lot of places in South America, Central America, North America, everywhere, all around the world. Oceania, Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea, Russia, South Asia, Middle East, Africa, Europe, everywhere. Exhibition hall number 2. Wow. I could see my paternal grandfather in this scene. He worked in the laundry business for a long time, ironing shirts, folding, washing. These are the trunks that they arrived with all their belongings. Now they're talking about the Taishanese immigrants who helped build the railroads. The City of New York laundry certificate license. Chinese laundry. Another thing too is these people unfortunately were the target of a lot of discrimination. My grandfather used to tell me a story about when he was folding shirts, and there was this one guy who was really rude to the Chinese workers there. He would call the Chinese people Charlie, and in a Chinese way, like Charlie. It was a really like derogatory term. So my grandfather was really smart, and he stood up against it. He came in with only one shirt, and it didn't really matter if he was a repeat customer or not, because it wasn't a lot of laundry. So he's like, okay, thank you so much, Charlie, for washing my shirt or whatever. And then my grandfather was like, okay, John. And what he did was this guy, he banged his fists on the table and says, I'm not John, you are Charlie. And then he left and went away in anger. I mean, I really respect my grandfather for standing up to the racism like that. But that was New York City back in the, I don't know, 1930s, 1940s, I guess, when that happened. Anti-fascist fight. Chinatown propaganda. A lot of Chinatown gates here. I recognize almost all of them because I've been there. Except for Yokohama, I haven't been there. I really wonder when this museum was built. It's incredible in its scale. I looked at the directory and there's 6 floors here. That was a really interesting 2nd floor there. Looks like the 1st floor is more about art and fashion. Clinic, tourist center. I think this just might be like a gift shop here. Maybe some a cafe or something. Yeah, I don't think there's much exhibition here. Let's go to the third floor. So this is the third floor. Well, this looks like a big train station. And what better way to talk about the trains than to have a model train right here in the middle of the museum. Oh, wow. They even have the train tracks laid out here. And what a beautiful day here in Taishan today. The journals of the Chinese. Overseas remittances. This is how people sent back letters and money orders and everything. Formation of Taishan. Younger generations and of overseas Chinese and new China. That's me. Oh wow. This is a whole exhibition about the World War II, the Flying Tigers. The American Volunteer Air Force to China was called Flying Tigers. Now, my paternal grandfather was not a flying tiger, but he was involved in going to the Rhineland, Central Europe, France to fight in World War II. He was a technical sergeant, and his specialty was that he was a cook, and I remember him telling me that he would cook scrambled eggs in like this big vat, kind of like a bathtub sized vat for the entire people in the mess hall there. So the Flying Tigers exhibit is actually over here. Actually, there's a American Legion Post 1291 in New York City, Chinatown. The namesake of it is the Lieutenant Benjamin Ralph Kim Lau American Legion Post. He was a member of the Flying Tigers that unfortunately was killed during wartime. And many of the Taishanese American veterans are part of that American Legion. There's also the monument there in New York City, Chinatown at Chatham Square dedicated to Benjamin Ralph Kim Lau and that American Legion. They got the uniforms here.
You should mention that your grandfather also was the American soldier too.
I did.
Oh, belonged to American Legion.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here's something else too. All the Chinese American veterans that served in World War II were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor. And I was able to pick up my grandfather's Congressional Gold Medal of Honor back in 2021 maybe, or before that, I forget when. So I'm very proud of my grandfather's service in the U.S. Army. I didn't mention that, but my uncle, which is my grandfather's oldest son, he's also an American veteran. He served during the Korean War, the U.S. Navy lieutenant. So very proud history with our family. Education and hygiene and sports. Look at this, they all donated money and knowledge and architecture to build all these schools all over Taishan. And many of these buildings, they have European influence. Just take a look at them, like columns and arches and everything. They got all that inspiration from the New World. Is this open? Traditional dwelling houses. Oh, wow. This is a recreation of a traditional house in Taishan. And similar to my family's old house in the village that I was able to visit, which is really something else. It's still there. It's amazing the roof didn't collapse yet. And it's been unmaintained for unrenovated for all this time. These are all the agricultural tools that they used for washing rice, picking different crops and everything. Yeah, a lot of new buildings and services were built in Taishan due to the remittances of the overseas people. Yep, Hong Kong was the place to go to catch boats to other places, and Macau. And my grandparents on my mom's side started off in Hong Kong first. Mom, Taishan communities in Hong Kong and Macau.
Oh,
Yep,
oh wow.
because the Taishan people had to come to Hong Kong first before they can get boats anywhere else. But your father stayed in Hong Kong for a
He stayed in
while.
Hong Kong, yes. A lot of people actually at that time, China was, well, my father's very poor, and his father died when he was very young.
Yeah,
So he had to leave China to build a new life because no food and
that's
no
right.
job. Yeah,
And staying in Hong Kong was the right move.
he was already married, and my mom was. Like his stuff.
I'm very happy that we don't have to live in a world right now where people are starving in China as much, or, you know, we have plenty of food. Let's go to the next floor now. Watch out for the steps. Fourth floor, there's still 3 more floors left, 4, 5, and 6 of exhibits. Let's see what's over here. Taishan today, introduction to Taishan. Oh, look at this. Oh, so this talks about the region in general. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be that much English here, but at least you could probably infer from these maps and displays of what, you know, Taishan has. Well, speaking about the natural resources, Taishan is actually known for the yellow eel. They would like come up naturally in the rice fields, and people would cook them up and eat them. Yeah, right here, the eels. And my grandfather used to tell me that he used to have water buffaloes that were useful in like tilling the fields and stuff. And I even asked people today in my family roots village if there's any water buffaloes around anymore. They say no, it's all machinery now. But my grandfather would say he would like pull the ear of the water buffalo and make it go one way, and then the other way is the other ear. But they were very crucial into the agriculture. It's the new city of Taishan. The map of Taishan's downtown. We've been there, it's pretty impressive. I didn't think it was going to be as developed as, you know, as it is. Right, Mom? The city of Taishan, downtown, everything is really built up. Because my like thought of Taishan was from Grandpa saying, "Oh, it's just all farms and villages," and
It's funny because when you talk to your friends, oh, we are in the farm area, the suburb, and you say, no, we are not in the suburb. We are in the city. So I was laughing. So how could you say this is a farmland? It's no farm. It's all building, high rise.
I know, and that's what my grandfather always said. He's like, it's just farms and villages there.
That is funny.
And we come here, it's like surprise. What happened?
Yeah.
And even this museum and all the cultural relics and history
Exactly.
preserved.
Are you
It's
talking
crazy.
about this is farmland, Kenny? Look, show your fans. And you talk about farmland. Look at all this high rise over here.
That's what it used to be. And
Well, that is still in the city. Look at all this building.
look at this.
Yes. This is unbelievable.
Actually, in some ways, in many ways, actually, Taishan looks like a more livable place than many of the places these people emigrated to. I definitely wouldn't mind living in Taishan. It looks really nice and safe now.
Oh, yes. It's a very safe place to live.
Meanwhile, many of the places that people emigrated to, there's crime and garbage around, and things are expensive.
Taishan is very clean, very safe. I feel very safe to walk around. And people are super nice and friendly, very warm people.
There's a whole timeline of events. City of forests, urban parks. I think this park here is like near us, the museum.
It's beautiful.
Wow. Well, that's the train station that we arrived at.
Oh, yeah. City of flowers.
Look at this. Wow, they have a whole panorama of the city. So Taichung is actually the name of the city here in Taishan. Actually, the word Cheng in Chinese means city, so literally Thai city. This museum is incredible.
And this is a free tour. You believe that?
And now they're talking about the development of the greater Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau area. I mean, even though this exhibit here doesn't talk about the Toisan people directly, it talks just about the area, the region, it's still very impressive. Like, this panorama is incredible.
Yes.
I wonder what else they're going to have here on the last 2 floors. The development of towns and villages, future Taishan. Well, we'll see what the future is. And look at this, all these towns are developing now. We were there, the Haikou port. That's where many of the Taishan people left for the New World. They even have a historic trail now guiding people to the port and other places. Boutique village. Overseas Chinese ruins. Whoa. Yeah, many of these homes, they were financed and constructed by the overseas Chinese, but over time they were disused and no one lives in there anymore. So they're just left to stand the test of time without anybody there. They're pretty. Featured buildings, traditional houses. This looks like my family's house almost. If it was in, perfect condition, it would look like this. And the ancestral hall. My family's ancestral hall is insane. That building was been there since at least like the late 1800s, and it was recently renovated in 2017, I believe they told me. It looks like a temple in there. The Watchtower and Lu Mansions. The arcades, these were built by the overseas Chinese too. and the schools that they built for the people here. And look at these schools. Two corridors. Three zones. What is this leaping over Taishan? It looks like an interactive ride. No, it's just a movie. You sit in the chair and then they play the movie. All about Guangdong's agriculture. All about the investment in the region. The future cinema, Taishan in the future. I don't think we need to sit for a movie. And the last floor coming up. Oh wait, it's closed. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, folks. Well, that was an amazing experience inside the Overseas Taishanese Cultural Museum. I never expected anything like this. And yeah, if you're ever here in the region and you're curious about the museum, you can pay them a visit. But if you enjoyed what you saw today, hit that like button for me, subscribe, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.